after a gain of 16. First down from the 40. That's the rookie Thomas again. Michael Thomas inside the 15 of the Raiders.
12th play of the drive. Breeze, the quick slant, and a touchdown for New Orleans.
Hard to stop that.
No pressure at all. Breeze lofts one. First down. Big play for the Saints, who really needed one. They got it from Michael Thomas.
Got to find a way to get some stops. See what they got for Drew Brees here.
Need to get to the 29 of San Diego for a first down. The quick pass is on target, and Michael Thomas breaks a few tackles to get down inside the 17, and it's another Saints first down.
Enough to do it with the mistakes that have gotten them. And we know what they're going to get on offense to see if Drew Brees can get a score on their first drive.
Brees completes to Thomas again, down around the 1-yard line. Traveris Cadet comes in. Brees throws, end zone. Did Michael Thomas hold on? Yes! Touchdown Saints!
3 wide receivers in the game. Brees throwing underneath. Touchdown! Michael Thomas, the rookie out of Ohio State. From the 25. Brees has time, has an open man. Michael Thomas with a catch is across midfield. At left tackle, Willie Steve motions. And off the play fake. Brees wants to go deep. Over the middle, he's got his man wide open, Michael Thomas. At the 46 of Carolina.
3 receivers set. Brees on second down, and the catch is made. This time, Thomas able to make the catch, and he picks up a New Orleans first down, a gain of 21.
Under a really good center for the Saints.
Second down and 5. As Brees throws, nice adjustment made by the rookie Thomas for a first down. Second down and 10. Brees throws, complete. Thomas, first down and more. Thomas crossing the 40. Out of bounds, and the clock stops.
Starting corners, but DJ White filling in admirably.
Brees throws, complete. It is Thomas again. Stays in bounds inside the 5.
There it is to Thomas.
Here's Thomas looking to get out. And he does not. That will do it. Saints run out of time.
Can stand up, give their team a chance.
They convert better than 80% on 3rd and short, and they convert again. Touchdown, Michael Thomas. Score at least in this 4th quarter to create a gap. Brees hesitates for Michael Thomas, and it's juggled. He caught it, and he fell in the end zone for a touchdown, Saints.
Even from here, if they need to go that way, it's Brees trying to get closer, back shoulder, and a catch by Thomas.
I would weigh 400 pounds if I lived on the other side of that wall.
Take out next door, that's pretty cool. That's Michael Thomas picking up 16 up to the huddle. This is the 61st play run by the Saints tonight. Brees throws, and the flag is down.
Time to let those receivers get down there anyway.
It's just a 3-man rush, and they're going to actually throw a little short pass here. Give it to Thomas, and he'll go as far as he can, but only to the 44-yard line. Well, they made this crowd sweat it out, didn't they?
28-14 looks kind of daunting for the Rams.
Traveris Cadet is in the game for the end zone. Catch made. Touchdown, Michael Thomas.
On 3rd down today.
Brees has been sacked twice. They rush only 3. And what a catch! And still going, Michael Thomas to the 45.
Ready, 20,
Brees floats one. Catch made. And Thomas is in for the touchdown. Mark Ingram in the backfield. Breeze for a fourth touchdown pass today. And Michael Thomas has it. The Saints score.
What a catch. What a catch.
A shot at that touchdown. But the most important thing is the win.
On the slant, it's Thomas. And Michael Thomas breaks free. He's inside the 20 and then gets tripped up. Thomas gains 46 yards. Breeze a pump fake on third down. Now he throws.
What a great job by Drew Brees in this situation.
Hightower in for Ingram. Off the fake toss to Hightower. Breeze sets and throws. And the catch is made for a first down by Michael Thomas. Third down and 10. Breeze complete to Thomas. What a catch. Michael Thomas for a Saints first down. Second and 10. Breeze near side. Thomas dives into the end zone. Touchdown. And 5. They must get to the Falcons 47. Fake toss to Cadet as Breeze sets and throws, and the Saints pick up the first down. It's Thomas again.
Come up with that beautiful call of Hail Mary at the end of the game. Second and 4 as Breeze. He's going deep. Over the shoulder. Caught by Thomas, and the feet are down.
A touchdown this season. 4 receivers to the left side. Breeze looking right. He throws to the end zone. Touchdown. There is a flag. Michael Thomas. His 5th reception for the New Orleans score. Bates. Quick release by Breeze. This is Thomas. And Michael Thomas has a first down as he takes it all the way to the Panthers' 10-yard line. His 6th reception today.
He is just finding Michael Thomas early and everybody else late.
Second down and 6. It's Thomas. Just mentioned him, Rondé. Michael Thomas into Carolina territory.
I mean, is that not great or what? Breeze to throw it. Going to come near side from Michael Thomas, and he makes a great catch. Contested 2 by Tankersley, but Thomas hauls it in for a first down. Hoping maybe next week. Or actually, they have a bye the week after that, they're feeling. Breeze back, flags flying. Wide open is Michael Thomas for a big gain out to the 45.
Breeze on third down, steps up and throws, and Thomas makes the catch for another Saints first down to the Packers 26.
Best to put a dent in that same history.
It's his 108th 300-yard game of his career, most all time, and he finds Thomas at the 47-yard line, and Michael Thomas signals first down.
Mara in the backfield. Breeze taking the shot towards the sideline to Michael Thomas, who is able to get 2 feet inbounds.
Saints are 3 for 4 on third down today. As Breeze throws, it's Thomas, makes the catch, hurdles a defender, and is finally brought down at the 10-yard line by Jordan Poyer. On your screen. Second down and 15. As Breeze throws, it's Thomas. What a catch. His 8th of the day. Another Saints first down.
It's the Saints' 50th play of 20 or more yards on the year. Most in the NFL. How about another? Michael Thomas for 24. But he gets in and out of breaks a lot better than you think for a guy 6'6". 3rd and 5. Pass is caught. Coverage by Breland depends on where they mark it. Last week a bit disappointing, and here they are at Superdome, and they're giving the Saints all they want. Pass is caught. Good throw. Thomas on the receiving end, a sliding grab.
Washington in that 4th quarter to bring them back.
So Kamara goes into a slot, empty backfield, and Breeze has Thomas. Thomas looking around, and he tripped up.
Here on third downs. Keep an eye on him in the slot. Third down and 8. Breeze steps up. Pass caught. Touchdown. Michael Thomas. Robertson gets it. Now 2nd and 11 for the Saints, up 14. Breeze. Sideline pass caught by Thomas.
Fans getting loud here in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Second quarter begins. Breeze 3rd and 6. Throw held onto by Thomas, going to the ground and rule the catch. Spread him out with 3 receivers. Breeze bobbles the snap, got it back, and got the touchdown to Michael Thomas. All right, let's see if the Saints can do it. 80 yards down the field, 3:44 to go. Trying to keep control of the division. Breeze, first down, fire is caught. Thomas, open space, midfield, and to the 45, and just like that, it's a gain of 35 yards.
Pretty impressive numbers right there for Thomas.
How about that? Him and Odell Beckham Jr., the only 2 players with 90 catches in the first 2 seasons.
There's another one. Adams catches Thomas, who catches that terrific pass to the 24, 20-yard pickup.
Ready. You ready?
Breeze, touchdown, Thomas, 4 yards. Claiborne was on him. Very tough to cover.
Alvin Kamara lined up top of your screen as a receiver. Breeze looks that way, going somewhere else. He's got a man wide open. It is Thomas who sprints away from the Falcons defenders down to the 27.
Ready. Set.
Breeze has time. Going to loft it deep for Thomas. Oh, what a catch. Are you serious? Michael Thomas.
In fact, career lows right now since becoming a Saint for Breeze in yards and in touchdown passes. Although that's his main man. The second-year receiver, the former Ohio State Buckeye.
Not against this guy. He's awfully slippery. Blitz. Saints pick it up. Pass caught by Thomas. Sets up 1st and goal. Game headed to Minneapolis. Pass is caught on a diving grab, and down to the 1 is Michael Thomas. Nice job. Fake toss. Breeze gets around Peppers, throws on the run. He's got Thomas to the 5. Extra man on the rush. Pass is caught. What a beautiful throw. And Michael Thomas spinning makes the grab. They've added a touchdown since. Lead 17-0. And Breeze keeps, throws, completes. And the first target of Michael Thomas out so far, but time to change that. Over the middle. Pass caught. Thomas. And Michael Thomas gets popped at the 30. 2nd down and 10 now. Breeze. End zone. Has a man. Touchdown. Michael Thomas. The man who was involved in that collision with Sendejo. Good throw. Good catch. And the Saints are on the board. Fake toss. Pass. Caught. Touchdown Saints. Michael Thomas. And the second-year pro's got his 2nd of the game.
Breeze. Open. Michael Thomas inside the 30 of Tampa Bay. Breeze on 3rd and 1. End zone wide open. Touchdown Saints. It's Michael Thomas. Breeze for the end zone and Thomas. He holds it in. It's going to be a Saints touchdown.
Coming over from the Chicago Bears. Here's Breeze to put it up. And his pass is caught by Michael Thomas. Broke 1 tackle and fights his way inside the Falcons 40.
Making big things happen for the Saints.
Jonathan Williamson at running back. Breeze throws to Michael Thomas. And there is the record breaker. Thomas can continues to go up to the 45-yard line. Richards is a deep safety. He's back about 20 yards. Play fake by Breeze. Looking, throwing, and completing it to Michael Thomas. Broken tackle into Falcons territory and down at the 46-yard line.
Primera oportunidad desde la yarda 38. El pase hacia la banda, regresando, y Michael Thomas, a pesar de tener encima el defensivo.
O Manning tem um rating melhor do que o... Ó, o Michael Thomas com o first down. É isso que os Giants precisam evitar, cara.
Houston took advantage of it.
Jerry Jones was a little outspoken with his opinion today. There's the completion to Thomas, and Thomas is all the way down inside the 15.
Floating it for Michael Thomas, who's got it. Thomas inside the 35 of Baltimore. First receiver with a catch. 2nd and 5 from the pocket. Ball was deflected, but somehow Michael Thomas came up with a catch.
Se chegar numa 4ª para 1 aqui, para mim é território de quarta descida.
Blitz. Vai cair a casa. Derrubado. Consegue o passe ainda. Consegue o first down, Thomas. Drew Brees caindo, faz o passe, a recepção.
2nd and goal. Brees, the throw, the catch, and touchdown. Michael Thomas. He showed good hands on that play after a couple of struggles earlier.
Great in this type of situation, as we see what Breeze has in store here, and he puts it right on the money along the sideline to Michael Thomas. You got 3 receivers, including Drew Brees, to the top of the screen.
Got him.
And Hill with a big arm, deep downfield, underthrows it a little bit. A flag is thrown, and that's Thomas.
10 für die Saints. Mittlerweile schon über die eigene 40-Yard-Linie hinaus. Brees, diesmal hat er Zeit. Und wenn der Zeit hat, wirft er ein gutes Ding. Das kennen wir normalerweise. Und was für ein Catch. Unfassbar.
Maintaining balance, and as Aaron Andrews reported, he's going to keep the foot on the pedal, and rightfully so. Passes to Thomas. What an effort. First down. Kamara starts in the slot. Passes to Thomas. He's gone. Touchdown, Saints.
Has to play a lot better today. They've got a chance to win this game. Play fake to Kamara. Breeze, pressure, throws, and he's got a completion. Who else? It's Michael Thomas. Breeze looking at Michael Thomas. Going to throw it that way. And diving, did he get it? Yes, he did. Touchdown, New Orleans. Breeze throwing, looking, touchdown, Thomas. It's an onslaught.
You know, how is Jim Schwartz going to be able to rotate this defensive front to keep them fresh? Breeze throws, pass, caught. There's Thomas. Out of bounds. Drew Brees and the Saints up 10. Far sideline, pass is caught. Michael Thomas has got his 2nd catch. On first down, little shoulder fake. Thomas, what a throw! Surgical precision. And Michael Thomas has his 8th. Dropped in beautifully by Drew Brees.
3rd and 11 for New Orleans. And a 3-man rush, and Breeze throwing in the middle. Michael Thomas caught it. And he has the yardage on the forward progress to the 37-yard line for the first down. Many think Breeze is the favorite to be the MVP this year. At the back end of the play clock on 2nd and 20 in the middle. Thomas hangs on, didn't go down, and will get 2 more yards out of it.
Breeze to the far side and a diving catch. Attempt is made by Thomas, but it hit the turf.
E rodeio ali Nova Orleans. Imagem bastante bonita.
Passe do Breeze pro lado esquerdo. Michael Thomas mais uma vez, ele chega.
Keep him rocking. 2nd and 6. Across the middle, wide open.
Another big game for Thomas.
Running away.
A média dele, Renan, 5 jardas por corrida.
Terceira para 8, tem blitz em cima do Brees, que faz o passe, acerta o alvo, o Michael Thomas de novo, ele quebra o tackle, continua de pé, ganha algumas jardas a mais. First down, New Orleans Saints.
Take about 40 off the clock. Here's a second and goal. Brees looking to throw. Now unloads it. Was he in? Did he cross the plane? No. And he's in the field to play.
Been hamstrung on defense by the number of plays that have gone over the top, and he hasn't been really one of them.
Bridgewater's pass caught by Thomas. The Saints first down. On second and goal, Bridgewater throws. There's Thomas, and there's the new franchise record. Needed 1, gained 6.
So new life for the Saints on first down. As Nada checks in for Cox. Flat 2. Brees sees it, throws it, completes it. Big play on the free play. It's Michael Thomas who's still going inside the 25. Saints need to get down to the 16 for a first down. It's Brees. Steps up and left and routes. Instead will throw. It's caught. It's a first down. Michael Thomas again. They're going to throw it from Michael Thomas. Coming near the side. It's going to be a touchdown. Michael Thomas doing it all, and New Orleans takes the lead.
Ready, set.
4-man rush. Brees firing Thomas. He's got it again. First down, New Orleans.
Ready, set.
Brees wide open, Thomas. And there's Peters trailing.
They give them 2 formidable linebackers in the middle of this defense.
His first Pro Bowl last year. 3rd and 17 after that play. Brees. How about going up and snagging it that time? Michael Thomas with the effort.
That's Kamara versus McDougal, a safety. He knows it's man-to-man.
Pass down the middle. Nice catch for the first down. And there is Michael Thomas.
Bridgewater throws and back shoulder perfectly thrown to Michael Thomas. Led the league in receptions last year.
As Bridgewater said, Brees has seen more than anybody from the quarterback position playing today. I should listen to him. Down the middle, toward the sideline. Catch made by Michael Thomas. Open for the end zone. Michael Thomas. It's a Saints touchdown. See if they attack that corner spot again with Carlton Davis out, disqualified. Murphy bunting in. And floating one down the sideline is Michael Thomas. And he gets inside the 35 of Tampa Bay. Remember, had that ankle tangled up a little bit when he was limping around. On 3rd and 10 from his own end zone. Catch! First down! Michael Thomas, 29-yard line. He goes out as a receiver, Kamara. Michael Thomas, the catch. Thomas, the touchdown for the Saints!
Bridgewater to throw. Sideline, wide open. Michael Thomas, and Thomas inside the 40-yard line. Or, excuse me, across the 40 to about the 41.
You're almost ready. Ready, what's up?
3rd down. Bridgewater under pressure, lofts. Oh my, what a throw and what a catch by Thomas. And are they saying he's down? They are at the 15-yard line.
Here we go, a little hurricane punch there from the 29 after the Cardinal punt. Brees 1st and 10, wide open. Michael Thomas, got a great block from Hill. Breaking tackles. Tuck line with the block downfield, and finally caught up to and brought down on the play in the secondary by Budda Baker. 1st and goal at the 9. Quick slant, Thomas breaks one. They take him into the end zone with Peterson on his back. That is a 9-yard touchdown pass, and the Saints have captured this one.
Hill looking to throw it. He's got a cannon coming for Thomas, and tiptoe, is he in? Oh, yes he is! What a catch by... On first down, three-man rush over the middle, sliding grab, beautifully done to Michael Thomas.
Now Breeze looking to Thomas, and the conversation on the sideline apparently paid off. Big third down is right as the Buccaneers have come up with 10 unanswered. No pressure on Breeze, and that means he finds Thomas streaking down the sideline and pushed out of bounds in the 10-yard line.
We're waiting for shot.
Randall on the fullback. Breeze goes to the end zone to Thomas for the touchdown.
You go to Kamara underneath him. You see them both on the right.
Here it is, 3rd and 6. Down the field, wide open. Thomas gets to the 40 of Carolina. He got away from Bradbury on a 3rd and 6.
We're waiting for shot.
Breeze fakes to Kamara, stands in, lofting deep for Thomas. He's got it. What a catch. Looking to make moves inside the 20. Michael Thomas all the way down to the 15-yard line. Emmanuel Mosley in the secondary. Breeze throws, going for Thomas. He's got it, and he's in. Touchdown, New Orleans. It ends in for the Saints. Breeze with time to the end zone. Touchdown, Michael Thomas. First down, Breeze, time to wind up. And Thomas stabs it as it floated out there, puts that one hand out there and brings it in for 24 yards. They're the number 3. Breeze steps up, down the middle, complete again. And it's Michael Thomas again.
Va a ser un tema al que le van a preguntar en la conferencia del comisionado. Completo el envío. Michael Thomas.
Saints must get to the 40 for a first down. As Breeze throws, and Thomas makes the catch in Titans territory for a New Orleans first down, a gain of 26. Hill on first down. Hill throws, and that will tie the all-time record on Michael Thomas, slot to the left. Breeze looking his way, and there it is. A new NFL record reaching across for a touchdown.
How about it? How about it? Congratulations to Michael Thomas.
Breeze to the end zone for a touchdown to Michael Thomas.
Sean Payton likes the screen game. He runs a lot of, maybe more than anybody in the NFL. I'd expect to see a little more of that dialed up.
To the sideline, and the pass is caught by Thomas.
We're waiting for shot.
Breeze has been protected well, fires, caught, 35-yard line, fighting for more yardage. Michael Thomas to the 31-yard line. He goes. Jumbo package for New Orleans. Hill stands in, fires, and it's caught over the middle. A twisting catch going back to number 13, and he's officially back.
Trying to stay maybe in field goal range here for Lutz at the end of the half, although Hill's going to drive the ball to Michael Thomas. Still 5 seconds left. Thomas down near the 22.
Breeze eligible to come off injured reserve prior to next week's game. Hill looking on 3rd and long. It's Thomas along the near sideline, and he made the catch. Able to get both feet down in bounds. It's ruled to completion. Good stuff, Shannon. You referred to the penalties. Saints committed 7 in the first half, and now Michael Thomas goes up and makes the catch for a New Orleans first down, an 18-yard connection.
That's big because it's part of the plan Chicago had to prepare for, and that would eliminate a lot.
1st and 10, complete, touchdown, Michael Thomas.
don't need to like see a guy, the color right in front of you. Hicks breaks through, you look up and try and move already quickly before you get the ball.
3rd and 4 going deep, and he's got Thomas. Oh, that looks like the old days between those two.
Right back around to make an open place for Jameis Winston.
31-yard connection. Winston on 1st and goal to the end zone. Touchdown, Michael Thomas. What precision by the New Orleans Saints during that quick drive.
And look at this man defense that they're about to play. Bring more pressure.
Winston, soft touch. It's Thomas who makes the catch for a Saints 1st down. 1st and goal from the Atlanta 9. Winston throws, end zone, touchdown! It's Thomas again!
No one's going to wait for me. I have to dig in, I have to recover, and I have to get back. And now he's back on the field.
And now he's back to throw. Rolling out, looking for somebody on the far sideline. Thomas stretching. Did he get the toes in? He did! Oh my goodness, what a connection.
What he does here if they score.
See if they score. Winston taps the ball, throws end zone, and he's got a touchdown. There is Thomas in traffic.
As for how he feels here in New Orleans, I feel re-energized, excited, and rejuvenated.
That's Carl on 1st down, going immediately to work. A bobble on the sidelines from the veteran Mike Thomas. He hauls it in for a big chunk of 25.
Pressure picked up, looking for Thomas on the edge, who goes back, not in bounds. Caught the ball, didn't get the feet down. Dante Jackson in coverage.
Just rushing 4.
6 in the secondary, 3rd and 11. Here goes Carr. Nice catch downfield, Thomas.
With an opportunity, down by 8, 47-yard line. Has time, throws, caught, and Thomas. To the 35-yard line goes Michael Thomas.
Threw it right over his head, layered that perfectly.
Carr to the end zone. It's Thomas reaching for it. Is he out of bounds or inbounds? Touchdown is the call. Buster Brown is there.
And now 3rd and 6 for New Orleans. Carr, pressure coming late over the middle, finds Thomas into Colts territory, a 1st down and more.